Donald Trump is shaking up the global economy once again. After imposing major tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China, the United States has sparked a trade war with some of its closest allies. But what exactly is going on? Why are these tariffs being placed, and what could they mean for both the United States and its trading partners? Stick with us, because by the end of this video, you'll have a full understanding of the strategy behind these tariffs, and why they might actually work in America's favor. And if you want to stay ahead of global power shifts, don't forget to hit that subscribe button now. This is more than just a trade war, it's a high-stakes game of geopolitics. In an unprecedented move, Trump has declared an economic emergency to justify these tariffs, 10% on all Chinese imports and 25% on Canadian and Mexican goods. But there's a twist for Canada. Its energy exports, oil, gas, and electricity, are now facing a 10% tax as well. What's behind this decision? Trump says it's about national security, stopping fentanyl production, controlling illegal immigration, and protecting American manufacturing. But is it really about security, or is it about economic leverage? The United States is now taking a hardline approach, demanding that its trading partners meet specific terms, or else face the consequences. To break it down even further, tariffs aren't just taxes, they represent a shift in America's global strategy. By imposing tariffs, Trump is essentially telling the world that the United States can no longer afford to be at a disadvantage in trade deals. This move is meant to change the playing field not just for now but for the future. But will this strategy pay off? Or will it backfire in unexpected ways? Canada wasted no time in retaliating. Justin Trudeau announced 25% tariffs on $155 billion worth of American goods, everything from cars to industrial equipment to agricultural products. But it didn't stop there. British Columbia even went a step further, pulling U.S. liquor brands from government stores and calling for boycotts of red state products. But here's a critical point. Canada relies on American trade far more than the United States relies on Canada. If this trade war becomes a drawn-out battle, who really holds the upper hand? Canada's response is strong, but its economic ties to the United States are deep and complex. In fact, the United States is Canada's largest trading partner, accounting for nearly 75% of its exports. So, while the Canadian retaliation might sting, it's worth questioning. Is Canada playing a game it can afford to win? Or will this backlash end up hurting the Canadian economy more than it hurts the United States? It's a delicate balance. Canada has options, but many of them are tied to U.S. decisions. If the United States cuts off some trade avenues, what other options are there for Canada to tap into, especially when its economy is already tightly integrated with America's? Now let's talk about the consequences. A recent analysis predicts that American households could face an average loss of $1,170 per year due to these tariffs. Inflation could surge. The auto industry, farmers, and home builders who rely on Canadian lumber brace for impact. But here's the catch. Trump's strategy isn't just about pain. It's about pushing U.S. companies to rethink their global supply chains and bring manufacturing back to the United States. Historically, tariffs helped fuel America's industrial growth in the early 20th century. Could they do the same today? In fact, Trump's entire message hinges on the idea that the U.S. has the power to absorb some short-term economic pain. The U.S. has the consumer base, the energy independence, and the market power to take on global powers like China and Canada. This could reshape global manufacturing in favor of U.S. interests. The big question, will it succeed in pushing production back to American shores? Could this be the beginning of a new era where America controls the production and distribution of the goods it consumes? But let's not forget, the tariff war comes with real-world consequences. The industries most vulnerable to these tariffs, like the auto industry, which depends on low-cost imports from Canada and Mexico, could see prices skyrocket. U.S. consumers are already feeling the pinch, and it could hurt everyday Americans who rely on these goods for their livelihoods. But the tension doesn't stop at Canada. Mexico and China are retaliating in kind. Mexico has slammed Trump's claims about cartel involvement as slanderous. And in retaliation, U.S. food imports, such as tomatoes, avocados, and pork, are now facing higher tariffs. But what's the long-term impact of this on U.S. agriculture? Could this spark shortages or higher food prices for American consumers? And China? It's pushing back by taking the U.S. to the World Trade Organization, preparing its own countermeasures to protect its economy. The situation has quickly escalated from a simple trade dispute to a full-scale geopolitical conflict, with countries around the world watching and reacting. This is no longer just a regional trade spat, it's a defining moment in global economic history. But here's the thing. Trump isn't simply reacting to these challenges. He's setting the stage for a new economic order where the U.S. calls the shots. The goal? To ensure that American workers are no longer left out of the benefits of global trade. Trump is betting that other countries will eventually bend to America's economic might, but will they? Or will they fight back hard enough to force the U.S. to rethink its strategy? So, what's next in this economic showdown? Is Trump's tariff strategy a bold move to protect American workers, or is he playing with fire and risking an economic backlash ahead of the next election? Will Canada stand firm in its retaliation, or will both sides find a way to back down before this spirals out of control? One thing's for sure, the consequences of this trade war will resonate for years to come, and the outcome could reshape the global order in ways we can't yet predict. This isn't just a matter of trade, it's about America's role in the world, and whether the U.S. can maintain its dominance as a global economic powerhouse. Will this gamble pay off, or will it backfire? Time will tell. What do you think? Are Trump's tariffs a smart, necessary strategy to bring jobs back to the U.S., or are they a dangerous gamble that could spark unintended consequences? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more in-depth analysis on America's shifting role on the global stage and the power moves shaping our world, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This is America's Geopolitics, where we break down the stories that matter and uncover the global strategies that could change the future.